Hi, Burbies. I have several stories to share with you guys today. Please check these out and let me know what you think. Make sure to like, comment, and share, and tell me which ones resonate the most with you. Enjoy. Let me tell you, I am ecstatic that religiosity is decreasing, and I am very happy for social media and what it could do to change things. This high school principal, Jason St. Pierre, decided that he was going to use his religion to basically punish this girl for dancing at a party that was off property. He decided that his religion would dictate that this girl should lose money, and he's facing backlash because of it. Let's get into this. A high school student in Louisiana says her principal unfairly disciplined her for what he deemed inappropriate behavior. Jason St. Pierre, principal at Walker High School in Livingston Parish, reportedly saw a video of Kaylee Timonette, a 17-year-old senior, dancing at a private homecoming after party and was reportedly unimpressed. But the way he handled the situation has many people upset. In an interview with Unfiltered with Kieran, Kaylee claims she was dancing with friends at an after party on September 30th. A video of the evening was reportedly sent to the school, and St. Pierre allegedly stripped her of her Student Government Association presidency and claimed he would not endorse her for scholarship after seeing it. But as ire among the community began to circulate, the principal has now reportedly backpedaled and has now taken on has a new take on the situation. The senior told the news outlet that St. Pierre asked if she wanted to look at the video in question during her meeting with him. She said she claimed she had already seen it and didn't think anything of it. Kaylee said she has been a dancer her entire life and likes to have fun. St. Pierre allegedly made her watch it despite her resistance. And then the senior said she cried. She said the evidently disappointed principal said she would no longer be allowed to serve as Student Government Association president because she was not acting godly at a public school in a private residence with her mom present. She was not acting godly and that she should be ashamed of herself. The principal allegedly brought religion into the conversation, which Kaylee said bothered her. Her mother, Rachel Timonette, added that St. Pierre was supposed to endorse Kaylee on the scholarship application, but then said he would no longer help her. Her mom said they were just having fun. She should not be questioned or spoken about faith at all. It's a public school, not a private school. At the time, Kaylee said she felt like her lifelong hard work was ruined. All right, the community came out to support her. Friends, family, and even strangers began to talk about the alleged situation on social media, and her story went viral. Natalie Bird shared a post about Kaylee in a Facebook group called What's Going On in Walker. She claimed Kaylee's classmates at Walker High School stand with her, with their friend, and believe she was mistreated. The students are starting a movement at this point and want everyone in the community to back Kaylee and then rise up in support of her. They want change. Most of the kids, from what I understand, are behind the scenes because they too are in fear of being reprimanded for something that they did not do or deserve. So you have an entire school full of kids that are in fear of who is leading them, and this situation with Kaylee has solidified that. They want Kaylee to get everything that was stripped of her and get her scholarship back. Now, after the backlash, Jason St. Pierre took to his Facebook page. He says, "Good afternoon, family. I believe it's necessary to respond to the public attention that has resulted from my actions regarding Kaylee Timonette's participation in a dance party that was sponsored at an offsite location following homecoming. I have had time to consider my actions, have conversation with the Timonettes, and meet with district staff. First, let me say I have apologized to the Timonettes, and I'm hopeful that my scheduled meeting with Kaylee's mom will rectify this situation and allow Kaylee to enjoy the remainder of her senior year at Walker High School. I will be reinstating Kaylee's position on the Student Government Association. The SGA was created to give students a voice in their school and their community, to promote leadership qualities and to represent their school with pride, enthusiasm, and respect. Our student government members are held to a high standard of student behavior. While I stand by that premise, I do believe that standards deserve the input of not just myself and top administrators, but also those student leaders. I hope to create a path moving forward where we can work together to create clear expectations for all." I will be reinstating my scholarship endorsement for Kaylee. At Walker High, we strive to place our students first in every decision so they may be prepared for whatever career path they may aspire to take, and I believe my action will assist in doing that. Finally, during my conversation with Kaylee regarding the dance party, the subject of my religious beliefs was broached by Kaylee and myself. While that conversation was meant with best intentions, I do understand it is not my responsibility to determine what students or others' religious beliefs may be. That should be the responsibility of the individual. As principal of Walker High School, I'm faced daily with many difficult decisions for the interests of our students and employees that are never taken lightly. Please know that I will always strive to place our students first in every decision. It is for that reason I have taken this corrective action. As we move forward, I ask for your continued support of Walker High School, our amazing teachers, and outstanding students. He should leave his religion out of it. It is not his responsibility. There are rules to school. There are regulations. People of these organizations should have those clear expectations. And I hope that this is an example. I don't know this situation, but I am tired of these people thinking that their religious beliefs should dictate how other people move. If people are not acting outside of the rules of the school, then it is not their responsibility to bring judgment and their beliefs into the situation. I am tired of these people, and I am glad for this reason that religiosity is decreasing. Now, let's get to something else. This dude has now asked for a leave of absence, and I hope they accept it. Okay, so this is being reported from CBS. It's in other outlets too. It says a Louisiana public school principal has apologized and requested leave for punishing a student and questioning her religious beliefs after he saw a video of her dancing at an off-campus party. But the mother of the student has called the principal's move to reinstate her daughter's school privileges too little, too late. At a meeting in his office with the assistant principal, St. Pierre told the student that she wasn't living in the Lord's way. He printed out Bible verses. See, that wasn't in the other story. He printed out Bible verses, questioned who her friends were, and if they followed the Lord. So some of this story overlaps, but let's get to this middle part. The mother and daughter have also said that the deadline for her scholarship application was on October 3rd and questioned whether St. Pierre could have reinstated his scholarship endorsement sooner. Timonette's mom, Rachel, told the news outlet the apology was too little, too late. I even told him on the phone conversation when he made it to us at noon today, asking us to come into the office, and he mentioned reinstating the scholarship. I let him know that the scholarship deadline was done and the damage that he's done to her is done. I also told him I gave them the opportunity when I came there at 7:00 in the morning to try to rectify the situation at this point. Now, with somebody holding his hand, forcing him to do something, an apology being enforced, it's too late. In a statement Monday, district officials said St. Pierre had requested to take a leave for the remainder of the school year. Walker High School principal Jason St. Pierre has requested to take a leave for the remainder of the 2023-2024 school year. The district office is awaiting his paperwork to process his request. So that's the end of it. I don't know if this girl is going to receive her scholarship or not, if the people that do the scholarship are going to see all of this public support or what happened and take it into consideration. But basically, this man has effed up just because of his beliefs, and then thinking that he's going to bring the Lord into the public school sphere when he should have left that to her parents. Yes, I am very irritated with this because I am tired of these people and their heavy-handed ways, and I am glad that they are losing members. Anyways, y'all go ahead, jump in the comment section and let me know what you think about it. I found this very, very interesting. The fact that Forbes was tackling the topic of incelsauruses. Let's get into this one. From Forbes. Y'all know that it must be these lonely people must be impacting money if Forbes is taking this on. Okay, a psychologist explains how an incel navigates the dating world. Incels, short for involuntary celibates, refer to an online community of predominantly heterosexual men frustrated by their inability to secure romantic or sexual relationships. The misogyny, hate speech, and violence perpetuated by certain incel forums is alarming, primarily driven by a hatred and distrust of women and a sense of feeling victimized by the feminist movement. Understanding the psychological underpinnings of an incel's approach to dating is essential in fostering change in their lives and minimizing potential impacts on others. So this is the reason or why Encelosauruses move the way they do. They rely on an external locus of control. A 2023 study found that in assigning a cause to their singlehood, Encelosauruses display a greater external locus of control, which refers to attributing life events and outcomes of one's action to external factors and perceiving their lives as being largely governed by forces outside of their control. They have no power, is basically what that just says. They have no power to control their lives, so they're assessing blame to somebody else or some bigger feature. The researchers suggest that such external attribution may stem from social comparison, as incels often perceive themselves as having lower value and romantic or sexual partners than other men. The study found that incels further place excessive importance on physical attractiveness and financial prospects to attract women and underestimate their preferences for the qualities of intelligence, kindness, and humor. Incels' inaccurate perception of what women desire in partnerships leads to blaming women as well as other men for their lack of romantic success. So they are placing higher value on their money and their looks, and they are not paying attention when women talk about intelligence, emotional intelligence, kindness, humor, and all that stuff. They don't listen. That's their problem. Additionally, the rise of dating apps has intensified incels' dissatisfaction. According to a 2021 study, incels believe that women on dating apps prefer men of higher social status or superior educational backgrounds over them, while incels personally have lower levels of education and employment. Incels also believe that highly desirable men branded by the community as chads or alpha males are winners of the genetic lottery for attractiveness due to which a majority of women gravitate towards them, reducing others' chances for a match. Finally, incels believe that subordinate men, often referred to as betas or simps, make women believe they are more desirable than they actually are, so that they will choose them. Incels believe themselves to be at the bottom of this three-tier hierarchy of desirability. So basically, these dudes are insecure. That's what number one is basically telling me. Number two, incels create a distorted self-perception. Incels believe themselves to be less attractive and romantically undesirable, and facing rejection on dating apps amplifies this belief. A 2023 study published in the Journal of Sex Research examined online dating experiences of incels and non-incels, finding significant mental health differences between them. Incels scored higher than their counterparts on the following dimension. Depressive symptoms. Incel men were more likely to have severe depression and anxiety, likely exacerbated by their higher levels of loneliness, lack of social support and solitary, unhealthy coping mechanisms. Rejection sensitivity. The self-identity of an incel is rooted in romantic rejection. The researchers found that they also experience high levels of rejection sensitivity. So basically, they are probably being rejected because they are depressed with high anxiety. So they should probably get that looked into versus going into online chats and hammering women and feminism. Okay, rejection sensitivity, which refers to an individual's heightened and often anxious response to the perceived possibility of rejection or social exclusion. The study found that incels also reported a greater fear of being single. This creates a tendency to react strongly to situations that may involve social judgment, like dating often does. It seems that in rejecting themselves and believing they will not be good enough for potential partners, incels believe everyone else will agree. This may contribute to hostile behavior, and it seems to make a cyclical, a circle pattern where it just comes back to them making these judgments about themselves and then making them come true. Like I said, this article is in Forbes. I gave the highlights, but the conclusion: the psychology of incels reveals a complex interplay of distorted self perception, external locus of control, and misperceptions of non incel dating behaviors. Navigating these issues requires a nuanced approach that challenges their beliefs, promotes self awareness, addresses their mental health concerns. Yes, please do that, and encourages healthier attitudes towards themselves, dating, and relationships. And like I said at the beginning, the fact that this is even in Forbes tells me that there are bigger issues at play that need to be established. And we know this because this crisis of lonely men is messing with the economy. Yes, it's messing with the economy. You could tell in the way that they are consistently going on and on and on about the birth rate decline. The birth rate is declining and it will keep declining because these people are like, who wants to pair up with people like this? They are really going to jack up the economy because they're going to continue to be lonely and women will continue to coalesce amongst themselves. All right, you guys go ahead, jump in the comments and let me know what you think about this one. Between Texas and Florida, there's always something. So I'm sure you probably heard about this boy being put in detention over his hair. He has locks, and it is causing a brouhaha in Texas. He is getting sent to detention despite the fact that his hair is not down. It's locked, but it is in a style that is not actually draping down. It's not causing any actual distraction, except I believe that Texas wants to make this a punishment of sorts. Okay, so this is the latest. This student suspended over his hairstyle to be sent to an alternative education program. He has to now go to an alternative school. This is bigger than his hair. Texas is just basically saying, we want to control how you do your hair. And if you're not going to bow down, we're going to punish you. That is basically what they're saying. And people should be paying attention to this. Okay, so let's get into the article. After serving more than a month of in school suspension over his dreadlocks, a black high school student in Texas was told he will be removed from his high school and sent to a disciplinary alternative education program on Thursday. Daryl is 18 and he has been going through this suspension since August. He will be sent to EPIC, an alternative school program, from August 12th through November 29th for failure to comply. So he and his mom just didn't bow down. George has repeatedly violated the district's previously communicated standards of student conduct. The letter also says that George will be allowed to return to regular classroom instruction on November 30th, but will not be allowed to return to his high school's campus until then, unless he's there to discuss his conduct with the school administrators. Barbers Hill Independent School District prohibits male students from having hair extended below the eyebrows, earlobes, or top of the t-shirt collar, according to the student handbook. Additionally, hair on all students must be clean, well-groomed, geometrical, and not in unnatural color or variation. The school does not require uniforms. I know schools and organizations have a dress code for a purpose, but like I said, these suspensions seem punitive because because he is complying in that his hair is not draping. They just want him to bow down. The family alleges George's suspension, subsequent discipline violates state's Crown Act, which took effect September 1st. The law, an acronym for Create a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair, is intended to prohibit race-based hair discrimination and bars employers and schools from penalizing people because of their hair texture or protective hairstyles, including afros, braids, dreadlocks, twists, or bantu knots. A federal version passed in the U.S. House last year, but was not successful in the Senate. The school also filed a lawsuit in the state district court asking a judge to clarify whether its dress code restrictions limiting hair length for boys violates the Crown Act. The lawsuit was filed in Chambers County, east of Houston. That's the reason why I say we need to be watching this, because this is bigger than just hair. I know some people will reduce it down to it's just hair, just cut it and get over it. But no, this is This is an organization that thinks that they have the right to make people comply. And there's no real rhyme or reason because his hair is not distracting anything, is not a safety hazard because it's pulled back. So what is the reason for punishing this child and keeping him out of instruction? Barbers Hill officials told cousins DeAndre Arnold and Caden Bradford they had to cut their hair in 2020. Their family sued the school district in May 2020, and a federal judge later ruled the district's hair policy was discriminatory. Their pending case helped spur Texas lawmakers to approve the state's Crown Act law. Both students withdrew from the school, with Bradford returning after the judge's ruling. So, this is going to have a lot longer impact. And the crazy thing is that the school has doubled down. So it's created a pathway for this to get put on in the law books or whatever. This is going to set precedent. So you guys go ahead and jump in the conversation and let me know what you think. Now that the trigger laws of Idaho has run off the OBGYNs, the support staff, and had their labor and delivery offices closed, now they want to re-examine their anti-choice laws. So this one, let's get into what is going on in the Idaho government. The Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals granted a request Tuesday for a rehearing on how Idaho's anti-choice laws interacts with EMTALA, whatever that stands for. In the latest twist of the legal battles over Idaho's near-total reproductive care ban, a federal appeals court has temporarily blocked the law from being enforced in emergency situations. Not that there's any doctors that can do that. In the Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals granted a request Tuesday for a rehearing before a full judicial panel following an earlier ruling on September 29th that had allowed the ban to take full effect. The new ruling puts a pause again on the reproductive choice law when it comes to cases where reproductive care is deemed necessary to prevent the death or serious impairment of the mother. The Biden administration sued Idaho in federal court, arguing that the state's near-total ban violates Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act. Okay, so that's what EMTALA stands for, which requires hospitals to provide stabilizing treatment in emergency situations. A judge in Idaho originally agreed with the Justice Department and blocked the ban from being enforced for emergency medical situations. However, a three-judge panel from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals overturned the decision on September 29th, allowing the ban to fully take effect. In a response only 2 weeks later, the Justice Department requested a rehearing before larger panels of judges. An in-bank panel will reconsider the case and whether Idaho's ban conflicts with federal requirements around emergency medical care. The latest ruling means reproductive choices can once again be provided in Ohio if deemed necessary to save the life or prevent serious health risk to the mother. The state's near-total ban remains in effect for all other situations while the legal challenge proceeds. The rehearing marks the next phase in the high-stakes legal fight over state bans since Roe v. Wade was overturned. The decision could have significant implications on whether federal law supersedes strict state restrictions where the patient's life is in danger. Now, these strict laws has run the physicians and the support staff away. So let's talk about the implications that these strict rulings is having on women's lives in Idaho. I've talked about this before on my pages, but this is the perfect time to speak about it again. Pregnant with no OBGYNs around, in Idaho, maternity care became a casualty of its strict its anti-choice laws. After an Idaho hospital closed its OBGYN department, pregnant women in the country have been left without nearby care. The OBGYNs have fled the state. They are gone. If you're pregnant in Bonner County, Idaho, you'll likely spend a lot of time on Route 95. Bonner General Health, a 25-bed hospital, discontinued obstetrics, labor, and delivery services this year. So for residents, Route 95 is the way to the closest state hospital with obstetrics care, which is at least an hour's drive south. How challenging is it going to be being pregnant in the winter up there? Laura Olin, 32, lives in the city of Sandpoint, where Bonner General is, and gave birth to her twin boys at the hospital in 2020. When she became pregnant again, she opted to deliver her daughter in Spokane, 90 minutes away. As the reality of doing the drive while labor set in, she said, it's very, very scary, those last few weeks of pregnancy. It made her think differently about her previous birth experience to go into labor at home and arrive at the hospital in 5 minutes later. What a blessing. I didn't know what a blessing that was. Oh, I'm sorry. I just paraphrased what she said. The four OBGYNs who previously worked at Bonner General, meanwhile, have left Idaho to practice in states where reproductive choice is legal. So this is what women are facing. However, I want to remind us all that Idaho is overwhelmingly red. I'm sure that they knew that the people in charge would do this. These trigger laws have been on the books and they were just waiting for Roe to be overturned. So many times these voters, the women in these states, are voting for this by voting red. When you vote red, you vote to restrict your reproductive choices. I would like to know how most of these women voted, the women who are impacted. I'm sure that, they need to be asking these questions when they are interviewing these women for these articles. Okay, as a whole, the situation has left mothers to be in Bonner County to contend with the unexpected consequences of their state's policy, reduce access to medical care for women whose pregnancies are very much wanted. So I've already talked about this, but they are in their find out phase of their actions. They live in a red state. The people in charge wanted this. So this is getting what they wanted until such time as they fix the system. This is what is going to happen, that these women are going to be on the road. This is going to be bad. Women will be harmed. Children will be harmed. And I don't know what to say about that, except they need to vote better.